Will your marriage last? I'm going to go through a 6-part series around the lasting of a marriage. Now, the relationship between a husband and wife was the perfect connection physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and part of God's image and likeness when he created man and woman from man to be the man's helper, his companion, someone who he can build a foundation with. When we think about an emotional affair, this can happen in any marriage, from any country, from any family, from any town. And so we need to think about this relationship. Now we know that someone can have an emotional relationship with a celebrity or someone of status. But see, those relationships typically don't materialize. They're more about a fantasy way of thinking. But now, when we think about when it's someone that is closer to us, that is a different feeling. How about if it's someone in your workplace? It is someone in your neighborhood. It is someone that you cross paths with at the grocery store, or at the gas station, or the fitness center, or certain events, even church. See, that is a little bit more of a challenge for us. And with the amount of people in this world and the beauty that are in women and how handsome men are, that is very hard for any marriage to not experience at some point in their relationship wanting to be with someone else. Maybe they see something that is missing in their own relationship. Or when they go through a rough patch, someone else may be there for them and they get attached. And now they have this affair in their emotions. They're thinking about this individual when they're at home, when they're in bed, sometimes in their dreams. The thoughts are running rampant for someone that they like, they feel a connection with. God wants a marital relationship to be committed and to stay strong, and never let anyone separate this relationship. In the book of Hebrews, chapter 13, verse 4, the Hebrew writers mentions that marriage should be honored by all, and the marriage bed kept pure, and for God would judge the adulterer and all the sexual immoral. See, this is how important a marital relationship is with God. We know how difficult it can be from a fleshly standpoint. We see that person and they have everything right that we want. But we know how important our marriage is. And we want to keep our marriage honored. But now this emotional roller coaster of an affair has entered our minds and we can't turn it off. How can we keep our marriage bed and our hearts, minds, and our souls pure? When it comes to allowing God to be the center of your life, it comes by we take a deliberate approach to our Christianity. When we fall to weakness and we begin to stumble over these types of situations, we're going to Christ. We're on our knees. We're in our Bibles. Maybe we're also sharing it with someone in the church that we can talk to break free from that temptation. And this particular temptation is very difficult because our minds want to wander into this affair emotionally. God wants every marriage to withstand the wiles of the devil. Now, in the book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verses 25 and 26, Paul writes that husband, love your wives just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her to make her holy, cleansing her by the washing with water through the word. See, men, we need to love our wives as Christ loves the church. This is a strong spiritual connection. And then wives must latch on to their husbands. So that relationship has a strong spiritual connection. Our marriages must be strong. And if a marriage is not strong, an emotional affair becomes unfaithfulness. It leads into divorce. It can cause someone bodily harm. It can disrupt the lives of families, children, society. So we need to be thinking carefully if we're going through an emotional affair with someone. What are we doing about it that is scripturally based? We need to be going to God, and we need to anchor our souls properly. And when we lose sight of this, most often than not, we will lose the battle. The time is right now to have your soul anchored, to have Christ as your cornerstone, to have a marriage that is strong in faith. The time is now. Don't allow no man to separate your marriage. Don't allow an emotional affair to become something more, and break free of it before it takes shape and destroy the marriage that God uniquely and purposely created for man and woman.